What if Tanjiro had his memories from the beginning of the story? So, I actually got this idea from the Jaegerists. I was just scrolling through my For You page on YouTube and saw this video pop up. I haven't watched it yet, but it seemed like a really good idea, so I decided to put it in one of my posts, and you guys picked it. So thank you to the Jaegerists for this idea. So, we're gonna make Tanjiro have all his memories from the very beginning. That means he already knows how to use sun breathing to its fullest, because he has every flashback and memory up to the point where Muzan gets killed in the original story. He knows everything: how to use the selfless state, how to activate the Demon Slayer mark, and how to perfect sun breathing even more. So, let's get this started. Tanjiro goes out to sell coal, and just like in the original timeline, the old man tells him not to go back up the mountain because it's dangerous at night and demons roam around. Muzan shows up and kills his family, and when Tanjiro comes back, he sees Nezuko transforming. He tries to help her, and then Giyu arrives. They fight, and Giyu sends Tanjiro to Urokodaki's place for training. Urokodaki starts training him in water breathing, but Tanjiro quickly realizes sun breathing fits him way better. Urokodaki doesn't question it much. He just says, "Whatever fits you best, use that." Fun fact, Rengoku trained Mitsuri, and she couldn't master flame breathing, so she made her own, love breathing. So, this actually fits perfectly. Tanjiro uses sun breathing throughout his training, and easily kills every demon in the final selection, including the hand demon. He goes through all the Season 1 events pretty much the same, all the way to Mount Natagumo, Rui's mountain. But this time, he's far stronger. He actually cuts off Rui's head himself, using sun breathing and the selfless state. Now, he doesn't have his Demon Slayer mark yet, because you can only unlock it through a near-death experience, which he hasn't had. But with sun breathing and the selfless state alone, he's already powerful enough to destroy Rui. After this, people talk about how defeating a lower moon qualifies him to become a Hashira, but Tanjiro turns it down since he's still not on the same level as the current Hashira, and he's too humble to accept it anyway. Everything else plays out the same at the Hashira meeting, except Tanjiro fights back way harder this time. The Ubuyashiki family head still declares Nezuko safe, since both Giyu and Urokodaki vouch for her, and the Hashira reluctantly agree. So, this time, Tanjiro already knows what's going to happen during the Mugen train arc. He asks the Ubuyashiki family to send another Hashira with them because he doesn't want Rengoku to die, and he doesn't fully trust his own abilities to defeat Akaza yet, even though he already knows the selfless state. Since Tanjiro warns them, the Ubuyashiki family decides to take his advice seriously. They say, well, we'll send another Hashira anyway, just in case. So they send Sanemi, since he's usually close by and always training. So now it's Rengoku and Sanemi going on the Mugen train mission with Tanjiro, Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Nezuko. Everything plays out the same at first. They all fall asleep in Enmu's dream trap. When they wake up, Rengoku and Sanemi protect the passengers, while Tanjiro, Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Nezuko go after Lower Moon 1, Enmu. They defeat Enmu, the train derails, and that's when Upper Moon 3 Akaza appears. But this time, Sanemi is there, and Tanjiro already knows exactly how this fight is going to go down. Rengoku and Sanemi put up an incredible fight against Akaza, and when Akaza starts to get the upper hand, Tanjiro uses the selfless state to get behind him and slice him clean through the neck while he's distracted. Akaza sees the image of his fiancée, finally finds peace, and accepts death. After that, they all return to the Demon Slayer course. Tanjiro still doesn't unlock his Demon Slayer mark yet, since he hasn't had that near-death trigger moment. Now, after the Mugen Train arc, we move straight into the Entertainment District arc. So, we can just skip all the dialogue and get straight to the end of the Entertainment District arc, starting with Daki versus Tanjiro, which is one of the first major fights we see. This time, Tanjiro actually kills Daki, instead of going into that blood-eyed rage mode where he starts doubting himself, saying he isn't special. That whole moment never happens. Nezuko never has to get out of her box either, because Tanjiro cuts Daki's neck clean off right away. He's way more experienced with sun breathing now, and already knows how to use the selfless state. But the real problem starts when Gyutaro pops out. He nearly kills Tanjiro, but Tengen, Zenitsu, and Inosuke arrive just in time to help. Tanjiro and Tengen take on Gyutaro, while Zenitsu and Inosuke handle Daki. The fight plays out pretty similar to the original timeline, except this time, Tengen doesn't lose his arm. Once it's all over, Nezuko wakes up from her box and heals everyone from the poison. And that's basically the whole Entertainment District arc. Everything ends faster and smoother in this timeline. Now Tanjiro probably still chips his sword while fighting Daki. Let's just say he got hit by a surprise attack, or maybe from the pressure of fighting Gyutaro. Since Tanjiro's almost Hashira level at this point, that would make sense. But unlike before, he doesn't fall into a coma afterward. Instead, he goes right back to training his sun breathing even more while waiting for his new sword to be sent. Eventually, he travels to the Swordsmith village, and that's where we start the next arc. Everything at the start happens the same. We see the hot spring scene and all that, but things start changing once the battle begins. When Tanjiro is fighting the four emotions, they keep multiplying. Muichiro, the mist Hashira, gets blasted away again, and Tanjiro's in a near-death situation. Nezuko's getting beat up, Genya's almost dying, and Tanjiro's all alone. That's when he unlocks his Demon Slayer mark. From there, he completely turns the fight around. He's slicing through every clone, pushing them all back with pure speed and precision. Then Nezuko gets trapped under rubble, and she gives Tanjiro her red blade power. With that boost, Tanjiro wipes out the four emotions. Meanwhile, Genya and Nezuko try to find the main body but can't cut it, so Tanjiro steps in to help. As all the four emotions merge into one, Mitsuri returns and holds off the new merged form, while Tanjiro, Nezuko, and Genya locate the real body and finally decapitate it. Meanwhile, Muichiro is over fighting Upper Moon 5, and everything there happens almost exactly like in the original timeline. Nezuko still becomes immune to sunlight, and Tanjiro finishes off Upper Moon 4 by cutting off his head. And that wraps up the Swordsmith Village arc in this version. Now we move into the Hashira Training arc. But this time, Rengoku is still alive, and that changes things up quite a bit. So, with Tanjiro basically being Hashira level right now, he's got the Selfless State and the Demon Slayer mark mastered. During the Hashira Training arc, he's actually helping teach these abilities to others. With Rengoku still alive, he's also part of the training, making sure everyone's swordsmanship and form are solid. He's kind of doing what Muichiro did in the original timeline, checking everyone's breathing techniques and refining their style. That's really the only major change in the training arc. Everything else still plays out the same. Muzan's plan moves forward, and he eventually kills the Ubuyashiki family head. All the Hashira, including Rengoku, rush to him, and they all end up getting trapped inside the Infinity Castle. Now, before we get into the fights, I just want to say, if you watched my What If Yoriichi Was in Tanjiro's Era video, I made a little mistake there. I said Akaza was alive when he was actually dead. So my apologies for that one. I just mix up a lot sometimes with so many what ifs. Anyway, in this timeline, Akaza is dead. So that leaves Kaigaku, the Biwa woman, Upper Moon 1, and Upper Moon 2 still alive. Let's start with the Upper Moon 1 fight. Tanjiro joins that battle, and because he has both the Selfless State and the Demon Slayer mark, he's able to save Muichiro's life. Kokushibo still fights with that same intensity, but this time, Tanjiro's presence really shakes him. When Tanjiro uses sun breathing, it reminds Kokushibo of his brother, Yoriichi. That sends him into a rage at first, but after he's decapitated by Tanjiro, Gyome, Sanemi, and Muichiro working together, Kokushibo finally understands everything. He realizes his jealousy of his brother was pointless, accepts his death, and fades away peacefully. Now for Upper Moon 2, this fight goes way differently too. Giyu joins Shinobu, Kanao, and Inosuke against Doma. Remember, Shinobu said it would take at least 3 Hashira-level fighters to defeat him. And in this version, they actually have that. Inosuke and Kanao together are basically Hashira level. Giyu is the 3rd strongest Hashira, and Shinobu's speed and poison make her incredibly dangerous. Together, they overpower Doma without needing Shinobu to sacrifice herself. Giyu's defense with water breathing, and Kanao's precision with her eyes finish him off once Shinobu's poison starts weakening him. Meanwhile, Rengoku helps Mitsuri and Obanai fight the Biwa woman. Yushiro, the good demon, joins in and helps take control of the Infinity Castle. The 4 of them work together and take her down, but Muzan realizes what's happening. He kills the Biwa woman and tries to destroy everything, but Yushiro manages to pull everyone out before that happens. Now we get to the Sunrise Countdown arc, and this time, everything ends way faster. Tanjiro already knows how to use the Selfless State, the Demon Slayer mark, and sun breathing to its fullest. With his memories from the future, he already knows exactly where Muzan's 7 hearts are and how to strike them. With all the Hashira alive and fighting alongside him, Muzan doesn't stand a chance. They trap him in the sunlight and completely burn him away. No one dies in this timeline, so this is another perfect ending for Demon Slayer. Rengoku survives, Shinobu survives, everyone lives, but the Demon Slayer mark still takes its toll. Rengoku and Tanjiro both eventually die peacefully from the mark years later. Obanai and Mitsuri get married and live out their final years together before their mark claims them too. Gyome dies as well, just like Kokushibo predicted, but he dies in peace knowing the children forgave him, and it was all a misunderstanding. Sanemi and Giyu both survive, and Shinobu ends up with Giyu in this version. It's a peaceful ending, the kind Demon Slayer never got, but I think it fits perfectly for this what if. So yeah, that's how this version of Demon Slayer ends. I hope you guys really liked this timeline. Comment what other what ifs you guys want to see next, and click on this video right here, because it's one of my best ones yet.